Y'all, hey, welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for stopping by. Y'all, I have done it. I have cracked the code on 0-point foods from Weight Watchers, and I will tell you all about it as soon as you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you can keep up with the shenanigans. So if you've been around for a little while, you know there's been lots of talk around the channel about 0-point foods. There have been questions, there's been discussion, and I know it's all my fault. I brought it up. I don't know, postulated some theories. Some folks asked some questions, postulated their own theories. Y'all, I have done some research. I reached out to Weight Watchers. I kind of got some answers. So let's get into this. Let's talk about it. Talk about what 0-point foods are, why they're 0 points, and what we're supposed to be doing with them. So first of all, 0-point foods are not 0 calories. And that's a point that people keep making. And hang on. Let me say this before we even get into this. I appreciate everyone's comments. I appreciate if I say something and you think that I'm wrong, you think that maybe I misunderstand something, I absolutely appreciate your questions. I don't take them as aggressive. I feel like we're all here to work together to try to figure this thing out and do the best that we can for ourselves. So what works best for me might not work best for you, but I think that we're all trying to do the best that we can. So if you ask a question in the comments, please don't feel like I'm going to take it aggressively. And if I mention your question in a video, please don't think that I took it aggressively, and please don't take my response as me being aggressive, because y'all, if I'm being aggressive, y'all know I'm being aggressive. But I don't feel aggressive at all about any of these things, because like I said, I truly feel like we're just trying to do our best. So anything that I say here, please don't take offense, don't take it aggressively. I truly appreciate everybody. Y'all, I appreciate you taking the time just to hang out with me and watch my videos, let alone make comments and like think about things that I say or ask and then come back and answer later. I can't even imagine. Like, I certainly don't think that I have the right to that much of your time. So I'm just honored that you do that. So before we even get into this, I just want to say that thank you for honoring me with your time of being here, of asking questions, of answering questions. So if I take something that you say in a comment and I turn that into a comment or a conversation, I mean, not to sound cheesy, but I'm kind of trying to honor the fact that you took your time to be part of this. I'm trying to honor that by sort of incorporating it into more of a conversation. So with that being said, I don't even know where I was going to try to go with that. So let me back up and say that, oh, I know where I was going. So 0-point foods are not 0-calorie foods. And folks have pointed that out in the comments, and I really appreciate that. So while it is true that 0-point foods are not 0-calorie foods, the powers that be at Weight Watchers claim that they take those calories into effect when they calculate the number of points we're allowed to have in a day and in a week. So they figure that a certain number of those calories are going to come from 0-point foods. So like I'm allowed 20, is everybody allowed the same number of points a day? Now I get 23 points a day. I don't think everybody gets the same number of points, but Weight Watchers figures that a certain number of my calories are going to come from foods that don't count against my 23 points. So y'all, they are super protective of their algorithms and like their calculations, which of course they are because that's their product. So I've reached out to people at Weight Watchers. I got answers, and I should have, before I conversed with them, I should have told them, like, I mean, not like that I feel like I am anybody, but who I was so that I could use their names and their comments in this video. I didn't. And I felt like if I went back afterwards and was like, oh, you know, I make videos and I want to use your comments. Is that okay? I felt like it would have felt kind of coercive, so I didn't do that. So I'm going to tell you the information that I got, but I'm not going to like quote people directly. So I tried to get some idea of how they like figured out the actual points and things or the algorithm they used, and y'all, they weren't having none of that. So, and I mean, it makes sense that it's proprietary because that's their product. But anyway, back to the calories. So 0-point foods do have calories, but Weight Watchers figures those calories into the algorithm for the calories that they expect us to eat in a day based on the number of points that they give us. And from what I've read from the comments I've seen and from what I've been told, theoretically you can overeat 0-point foods, but it's really difficult, and I don't mean this to sound dismissive. It's going to sound dismissive, y'all, and I don't mean it this way, but none of us got to be overweight by eating, okay. I doubt that anybody got to be overweight by eating too many apples and bananas, right? So here's what I was told. Don't be overly fixated on the portion sizes of your 0-point foods. Now, if you go into the frequently asked questions section of the Weight Watchers website and find there's a question about portion size for 0-point foods. And it says that 0-point foods do have calories, so that we have to be sort of aware of how much of them we eat. And it talks about eggs, that 2 eggs is a portion of eggs. So eat 2 eggs, but then if you're still hungry, you can have another egg. And it says that you should be, when you eat, you should be satiated, but it shouldn't be like Thanksgiving, right? That you shouldn't be like overly full. So here are my thoughts on that. Weight Watchers would rather have you eat more 0-point foods if you're still hungry once you've eaten like your portion size. Eat more 0-point foods than point-laden foods. For instance, if I'm having like my typical dinner, I'll have ground turkey with half a cup of rice, black beans, and corn. If I'm still hungry, I'm going to eat more corn as opposed to more rice. If I'm still really hungry, then maybe I'll eat more rice and count the points. But first I'm going to eat more corn because it's 0 points. And chances are that's going to fill me up before I eat more rice. So if you can, go with a portion of whatever your 0-point food is. But then if you're still hungry, eat more of that 0-point food before you add more points to your meals. I hope that makes sense. Y'all, if you have any questions about anything that I say, please, please always feel free to drop them in the comments and either ask a specific enough question that I know what you're asking about or timestamp it. Like look at where my comment comes up in the video and just timestamp your comment so that I can go back, figure out what I was blathering on about, and then address whatever it is I said to answer your question. All right, so let's talk some more about the idea of 0-point foods and calories and how many we should be eating. Again, y'all, first of all, my first again is, I've said this before and I don't want to keep like beating this drum, but I am not addressing situations of like a binge eating disorder or somebody with some sort of food allergies. If you have, and I know diabetes isn't a food allergy, but if you have diabetes, if you have a gluten intolerance, if you have any of those things, I don't deal with those, so I can't speak specifically to those situations. So I'm just talking about in general, like a general sort of moderately healthy person trying to use Weight Watchers to moderate their food. So when I talk about not overeating 0-point foods, I'm not talking about somebody with a binge eating disorder. So if you suffer with like some sort of binge eating problem, this might not apply to you. But let's talk about the idea of overeating 0-point foods. So one person that I was online sort of messaging with back and forth said, not to, like, don't fixate on your 0-point foods. We calculate those in so that you have an option of something that you can eat if you're hungry. So eat more of those versus other things. And if your weight's going up or it's not going down, or you feel like something is off about your eating, probably not your 0-point foods. Like, it's probably not that steamed broccoli that you're eating. It's probably something else that's going on. So step back and take a look at what you're doing. Like, what are you not tracking? The day after, and y'all, if you're not guilty of this, you're not living life right. The day after tracking, like you weigh yourself, do you track what you eat the day that you weigh yourself after you weigh in? because you might be picking up a whole bunch of points there without even thinking about it. Or weekends. Do you struggle to track on the weekends? My weigh-in day used to be Sunday, and then after like forever of doing that, I was like, well, dude, what are you doing? Because Friday and Saturday were my struggle bus days, and then I'm weighing in on Sunday, beating myself up. So guess when I weigh in now? Friday morning. So I know, y'all, I know, stop judging me. But the point of that is not me. The point of that is, think about that. When are you not tracking? My mom totally called me out one time on the, what is it called? The BLT, bite, a bite, a lick, and a taste. I BLT myself to death. Well, I did until she called me out on it. Like, you have things sitting around that you just take a little nibble of all day long. Those little nibbles add up. So mine is almonds. Like, I'll grab some almonds and eat them without even thinking about it, which is why I know y'all are thinking, well, now you have those little like bags. That's why. So I keep little bags of 9 almonds because 9 almonds is a point. So I'd grab my 9 almonds or how many ever almonds out of that little bag and keep that baggie so I know once the baggie's empty, that's 1 point of almonds. So get your bites, licks, and tastes under control. Like, if there's something in the fridge that you walk in and just like take a taste of every time you walk by, y'all, you got to count that stuff. Unless it's 0 points, in which case, lick all you want. We'll make more. Leave that alone. Don't comment on that. So, what are you not tracking? Drinks. Y'all, it is so easy to get out over your skis on drinks because, one, are you measuring what you're drinking? And do you know how many points there are? And ice. Anyway, don't get me started on ice, like displacing drink and not knowing. Anyway, count the points in your drinks or drink 0 point drinks like black coffee, water. There's that flavored sparkling water, the one that I drink from Walmart, which is really flavorful, 0 points. There are all kinds of 0 calorie, 0 point drinks out there. And there are lots of ones with no artificial sweeteners. If you're like me and you've got a bug about not wanting to drink artificial sweetener or not wanting to eat artificial sweetener, those are out there too. Just find you some. So either don't drink your points, or if you're drinking your points, count them. Also, are you going out to eat? Y'all, I struggle so much. If the intern and I go out to eat, like, how do you count that stuff? Now, Weight Watchers makes it easier. There's the what to eat when you go out part in the app now, but it's still not easy. It's still harder to track when you go out to eat, for me anyway, than at home. Because you don't know what they're doing in the kitchen with that, are they dipping your chicken breast in butter before they throw it on the grill? You don't know. So just be aware of those things. I'm not saying don't go out to eat. I'm just saying if you're going out to eat twice a week, it's not the non-fat Greek yogurt probably that's putting the pounds on you. So just be aware of those other things, those other places that you might be picking up points versus in the strawberries that you're eating in the morning. All right, so now that I've run you over the ringer about what you need to not be doing, what about some ideas of things that we can do with our 0 point foods to make life easier, to sort of make this whole thing go better? And I have some ideas for you. Try to incorporate fruits and or veggies into every meal. And y'all, I didn't even think about it, but I kind of do this naturally, and you might well be doing it naturally too. Like for breakfast, I know y'all are going through in your head, we know what you eat all day long, every day. Fruit with Greek yogurt in the morning, and I have fresh fruit in the morning. I have carrot chips with my lunch, and I always have veggies with dinner because I grew up in the 70s, and in the 70s, dinner was a meat, a starch, and a veg. So I eat veggies with every meal, at every dinner. So try to do that. Try to incorporate a fruit or a veg with every meal. And y'all, think about it. Veggies are low in calories and high in nutritional value. And for those of us old school Weight Watchers folks, y'all remember back in the day when fruit had points? I think some of us still kind of have to get out of that fruit having points mindset, and the whole it's got calories so I have to count it. I know it has calories and there's sugar in fruit. And again, If you have sugar issues, if you have diabetes, any of those things, I'm not talking to you. But fruit is like the calories in fruit, it's low in caloric density, high in fiber, and it's got water. Remember we talked about how much water we need to have in a day? You can get a bunch of your water from fruit. So add fruit and veg to your meals all day long, and it's going to help fill you up, keep you going, and it's really good for you. While we're talking about old school Weight Watchers, and y'all, I still do this to this day, but don't stress on foods that used to have 0 points that they now make us count. Like plain oatmeal. Didn't plain oatmeal for some of us used to be 0 points? Well, now it's got points. Y'all, if it's like dense, nutrient-rich food, just count the points and eat the food. Somebody, a few of y'all, after I begged y'all to help me figure out how to like cauliflower rice instead of white rice, y'all are like, dude, get over it. Some stuff just isn't good. Just eat the white rice and count the points. Y'all, best day of my life, because I love white rice. It's 3 points for half a cup, and it's good. It's dense. It fills me up. I eat it with black beans, corn, and ground turkey, all of which is 0 points. So I have a whole meal for 3 points, and I'm belly aching about that, trying to learn to eat cauliflower instead of rice. What is wrong with me? So if you're doing the same thing, just cool your jets, eat those foods, and count the points. So like, I think it's, and I can't even remember because it's been so long now, but like oatmeal, brown rice, which to me tastes like dirt. I eat white rice, but if you're a grown up and you eat brown rice because it's actually healthy, just eat the food and count the points. And y'all, think about it. If you have, and I don't even know what the points are because like I said, I don't eat brown rice, but think about 3 points of brown rice versus 3 points of chips. It's nutrient dense, it's heavier, it will fill you up. So just think about the value of the points that you're eating, and it's just worth it. Count the points, move on. Okay, what else? Okay, so we talked about fruit, right? We got to get over that whole old school fruit has points. But, and y'all, you could feel free to fuss at me in the comments. Feel free to fuss with me about how this isn't fair. Y'all, life isn't fair. If you blend your fruit, you have to count it. According to Weight Watchers, and I can't say that I necessarily think they're wrong about this, if you drink your fruit versus chewing it, your body processes it differently and it's points. So smoothies, be careful of smoothies. Now, if you mush your fruit, and I've asked about this with Miracle Muffins, we mush up our bananas in our Miracle Muffins, but that's mushed, not blended. So the sort of easy rule to remember is if you consume it with a straw, fruit-wise, if you consume it with a straw, you have to count it. If you consume it with a spoon, you don't have to count it. So like when you mash up your bananas to use it as a sweetener when you're baking, that's eat it with a spoon, not suck it through a straw, unless you're sucking really hard, and let's not talk about that. So you have to count your fruit if you blend it. So be careful of smoothies. We talked about this before. It's been a while, but y'all be careful of your smoothies. If you're blending up fruit and putting it in a smoothie, that's not 0 points for the fruit. So again, if you're going to do it and like that's a meal for you and it's worth it for the blended fruit points, then do it, count the points, move on. But just remember, if you eat it with a spoon, you don't have to count it fruit-wise. If you suck it through a straw, you got to count it. All right, let's talk about one of my very favorite things, and that's 0 point proteins. Y'all know how I love me some proteins. So we talk about like all the standard, the chicken, the turkey, all those things. Beans. We don't talk much at all ever about proteins like beans, lentils. Y'all, those are 0 points and they're super filling. So beans, lentils, peas. I want to say I had a can of English peas that had points, but I don't know if that was the peas or things they did to the peas. So maybe check me on peas. But beans for sure are 0 points. Just be careful what they do to the beans, like, although black-eyed peas are peas. I don't know. Anyway, be careful. And I know sometimes black beans have points, but again, that's what they do to them before they put them in the can. It's not the beans themselves. So beans and lentils for sure are 0 points. And y'all, Beans are like a miracle food because they fill you up more, like for the amount that you eat, you feel more full eating beans than you do other foods. And studies have shown that they fill you up for like 24 hours after. So let me tell you what I want to do. Not today, because I have like a whole bunch of black-eyed peas in my fridge. But one day we're going to make black-eyed peas from scratch. And let me tell you what. I use ham in my black-eyed peas, which makes them have points. But they're so good, it's worth it. And it's not a whole lot of points, and especially for how much they fill you up. So we're not going to do it today, but one day we're going to make black-eyed peas, and y'all will thank me later. So peas and beans. So think about like chili with beans, maybe a bean soup, or even like with my black-eyed peas, just plain old peas or beans with beans. Beans are filling and they keep you full for a long time, and they help you to be full for a while afterwards. Even when you eat other things, the other things that you eat fill you up for longer, for like a day after you've eaten beans. Eggs, y'all know my thoughts on eggs. I'm like Forrest Gump with eggs. I like boiled eggs. I like fried eggs. I like a fried egg sandwich. I like deviled eggs. I like eggs in my tuna fish. Y'all, tuna, 0 points. Y'all know this. Ranch, that 0 point ranch dip, mustard, chop up a boiled egg, mix that up. That's a meal in itself. Throw it on some 2 point bread. Seriously? So, eggs are great. Fish, I need to do more with fish. Like you can get those flash frozen like tilapia patties, keep them in your freezer, thaw them out. It's like 3 minutes to thaw them, a couple of minutes in a pan, and that's a 0 point protein for whatever meal that you're making. So fish, shrimp, 0 points. I think, I'm not going to say, okay, check shellfish. I know that shrimp are 0 points. I don't know that all shellfish are 0 points. I think probably they are, but I don't know. But if they're not 0 points, they gotta be low in points. So fish, shellfish, great protein, 0 or very low points. Y'all know my thoughts on poultry. Y'all know the intern's thoughts on poultry, but we ain't polling the intern on this. So chicken breast, 0 points. Ground turkey, now we know this, the 98 or 99% lean ground turkey is 0 points because that's just turkey breast. Now, when you get the other turkey, like the 90, I think it's 93% lean, I want to say it's a point per ounce. Didn't we figure that out one day? It's definitely pointy, but if that's what your people will eat, it's still not a whole ton of points. But if you can get your people to eat ground turkey breasts, or if you eat ground turkey breasts, 0 points for all the ground turkey breasts. And again, y'all eat it a serving at a time and then add more if you're still hungry. So chicken and turkey, lunch meat turkey has points. Thank you again. Debbie, was it you that pointed that out? Thank you again for that. 1 point for up to 2 ounces of lunch meat turkey. Tofu. Y'all, I'm going to start using tofu. I don't now, but I'm going to start, and then we'll talk about it. So tofu, and is it tempura? Is that the other thing that's like takes on the taste of the stuff that you cook it with that's like protein and 0 points? Something to think about. Of course, yogurt and cottage cheese. So fat-free yogurt, it doesn't have to be Greek yogurt, but fat-free yogurt and fat-free cottage cheese. And y'all, you can add those to many things to thicken them up if you're not going to just have yogurt or cottage cheese. And we've talked before about mixing fat-free Greek yogurt with Jello, like the Jello pudding mix. That makes a yummy treat. If you use the 0 point Jello pudding mix, it's 0 points. Or even if you use the regular Jello pudding mix, it's still low points if you mix it with fat-free Greek yogurt. So fat-free Greek yogurt or fat-free regular yogurt, if you can't get over the Greek yogurtness of the Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, and y'all, corn. I know, I keep talking about don't think about back in the day. Remember back in the day, corn was points? Corn's not points now. Now, apparently, and I've heard a bunch of people talk about this, apparently like the average person won't pop like air pop popcorn and sit and just eat it with maybe just salt on it. Y'all, I can do that all day long. I didn't realize that that's like not a normal thing to do. And I know that there are sprinkles. We've talked about sprinkles that you put on it. I own some of the sprinkles and I don't use them because I'll just put salt on my popcorn and just eat it. So if you're able to just eat plain popcorn with salt, I think that's fine. So I don't even know what a serving size of popcorn is, but it's 0 points. Now, if you start putting the like sprinkles, or apparently there's like spray butter or something you can put on it, and like maybe one serving is 0 points, but a serving is like literally like a 1/4 second spray. What even is that? So if you're using sprinkles and sprays, and this goes for anything, like a lot of times a recipe will be like, oh, put, you know, a spray of nonstick whatever on your food, which I never do that, not judging you if you do, but I don't know what's in those things because I don't use them as like additives for my, I don't know why I'm doing this, like you don't know what I'm talking about, but I don't use those as additives for my food. If you do, please look at them and first of all, see what in the world you're adding to your food. And if it's oil, which probably a lot of them are, note that the serving size might be like a 1/2 second spray or something. And then if you're spraying like 2 or 3 seconds, you're adding points. So, and again, if it's worth it for the points, if the juice is worth the squeeze, then squeeze away, my friends. If it's worth, like say you're eating a big old bowl of popcorn and you use 1 point worth of that like Twix mix sprinkle, then you know, it might be worth it for you, but just be aware of the points that you're adding to your 0 point popcorn. So y'all, I think that's it. I think that's literally all that I have to say about 0 point foods until Weight Watchers changes the game and then we have to talk 0 point foods again, but that's it. I'm done. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go work out and then y'all, literally for days and days, I have been thinking about the funnel cakes that we made in the air fryer that time. I've got to have me an air fryer funnel cake or I think I'm going to die. And I know, I know y'all are like, bless her heart. Is that seriously what her life has come to, that she is thinking about? Yes, that is what. Y'all, I have this 10-year-old that I teach that I've had him since he was like 7. So this little boy, he would kill me if he heard me call him a little boy, but this 10-year-old kid, and we were talking the other day about how the only time I listen to music is on the Peloton, and he could not. He was like, oh my Lord, Miss Danielle, we have got to do something about your life. If the only time you listen to music is on the Peloton, I was like, yeah, that's my life. Yes, this is my life. I like fantasize about air fryer funnel cakes, y'all. I'm gonna make me some air fryer funnel cakes. So let me go do this workout, which may well kill me because it's the first workout of week 3 of my 4-week strength training program. So I'm gonna go do that. And then I'm gonna come back and we are gonna make some air fryer funnel cakes. So y'all go do something, go work out and meet me back here and we'll make some funnel cakes.
So desperate on my knees to break. And I hear the voice of an angel telling me not to lay down. And I feel the spirit guiding, telling me not to give up. Hold on to every promise I've been praying for.
Oh my gosh, y'all, that workout. I think I told you that did I tell y'all that it's day 1 of week 3 of this like Stronger Together, Fit, Together We're Fit, whatever it's called, workout program? Well, and of course, like it gets harder every week. So this week they're adding more weights and the workouts are longer. So it's been, I don't know, maybe last week the workouts got longer too and I just didn't notice. But last week, mostly they were 20 minutes. This one was 30 minutes. What in the world? Anyway, So we survived that, and now it's time for funnel cakes. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make the Weight Watchers 2-ingredient dough. I almost said 2-ingredient cookie dough. What is on my mind? 2-ingredient dough. Self-rising flour, non-fat plain Greek yogurt. Let me tell y'all what I'm gonna do. Instead of just mixing those up and baking them in the oven, I'm going to mix them up and sweeten them and flavor them and cook them in the air fryer. So I was gonna do like 1/3 of a cup of self-rising flour, but then I had this brilliant idea. Instead of that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do 2 1/8 of a cups, which y'all, I know that's 1/4 of a cup. Stop with your fraction mathing me. I'm gonna do 2 1/8 of a cups. One of them, I'm gonna make chocolate. So I'm gonna use some unsweetened cocoa powder and of course my monk fruit sweetener. And I'm probably gonna throw in some vanilla. I don't know yet. We'll see how the spirit moves me when I get to mixing stuff. But so I'll do 1/8 of a cup of flour. And I think it's like close to a 1-to-1 with the self-rising flour and the plain non-fat Greek yogurt. But what I'm gonna do is measure out my flour, put in my cocoa powder, my monk fruit sweetener, and then gradually mix in the Greek yogurt because I'm putting in a little bit more dry ingredient. And I don't want to have to add any more flour if I put in too much yogurt because the flour is where my points are coming from. And 1/8 of a cup of self-rising flour is 2 points. So I'll know if I eat like the whole thing that I make with the chocolate, that's 1/8 of a cup, so that's 2 points. And then I'm gonna make one that's just like plain old like Jersey Shore boardwalk funnel cake flavored. So I'll do self-rising flour, Greek yogurt, monk fruit sweetener, and vanilla. Mix those up together. I'm gonna roll them out and maybe swirl them into some kind of, again, Jersey Shore boardwalk funnel cake shape. Stick them in my air fryer at 350, and I'm gonna keep an eye on them because I don't know how long they need to cook, but probably not very long. So let me get this done, let me put it together, and then I'll come back and tell you if I decide to change anything, let you know how long they cook, and we'll do a taste test. Y'all, we have funnel cakes. I'm gonna give you a second just to appreciate and enjoy their amazingness. Here's a little close-up for you. Here's what we got. I'm gonna hold them and try to get it to focus without dumping this on my counter. You can see it, right? So they got nice and like a little crispy on the outside. After all that I said I was gonna gradually add the Greek yogurt so that I didn't get too much Greek yogurt in because I didn't want to add any more flour. I did not add it gradually and I put in too much Greek yogurt, but so it should have been a little doughier. It was a little mushy. So I just made sure that there was a bunch of flour when I folded it out onto like the board when I like mushed it into shape. So I know I ended up just using more flour anyway, whatever, y'all quit judging me. But so here's what we got. Let's try the plain one first. Now this is just self-rising flour, Greek yogurt, monk fruit sweetener, and vanilla. And you can see it's like crispy on the outside and mushy on the inside. It's really good. Might use a little more vanilla next time. Probably use, so I did 1/8 of a cup of flour, probably 1/8 of a cup of the monk fruit sweetener, about a teaspoon of vanilla. So I might use a little more vanilla next time, but the other like proportions are good. Let's try the chocolate. I used a lot of chocolate in here, y'all. I probably did equal parts, all three, like flour, chocolate, and monk fruit sweetener, and then threw in just a little bit of vanilla at the end. It's very good. So yeah, I'm gonna call these a success. We made these before, but I don't know if I made the chocolate ones, or if I did, I didn't put in enough chocolate. I don't know what I did, but they weren't this good before, y'all. This is really good. Again, 2 points for 1/8 of a cup of the self-rising flour, and then everything else that I used was 0 points. So this is actually like what you saw on the plate was 4 points because it's 1/4 of a cup. I did 1/8 of a cup twice. Each of these is 1/8 of a cup. So that's it, y'all. We made funnel cakes in the air fryer. Back to our whole discussion of the 0 point foods. Like I said, we're going to put the whole 0 point discussion to rest for now, unless something else comes up or we have a question we want answered or Weight Watchers changes things. But let us know in the comments what you think about that stuff. If you take a different approach with 0 point foods, or if you measure and like count your 0 point foods, let us know how you do that because they're 0 points. So how do you track those? Let us know in the comments. Y'all, thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you made it this far, we are most definitely friends. So go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you can keep up with the shenanigans. I upload food and fitness videos at the beginning of every week with some book videos sprinkled in between. See you on the next one.